Redneck Preppy, yeah? Wait, this doesn't work. Hi there, Redneck Preppy with you, and today, a different kind of video. Usually I do a year-end review post on Facebook near the end of December of every year, just kind of chronicling, how did my year go in the various aspects of my outdoor activities. This year I decided to do a video. So hopefully you enjoy it. I'll try not to make this too long because I can't imagine you're going to be too interested in what some random guy that you don't know in Northern Ontario, Canada does. But in case you are interested, I'll try and make this at least somewhat entertaining or informative. And hopefully you enjoy the video. And, feel free in the comments below to kind of, tell me how your year went. I'm interested because maybe you had different experiences than I did. It's all possible. Anyway, I will begin at the beginning, which is always a good place to begin. A YouTube channel. We had at least what I would consider to be tremendous growth on the channel. Started out January 2020 with like 200 subscribers, I think it was. We're up to 550 now. So that's awesome. This year also set a personal record, at least, for number of hours viewed. Number of videos viewed, number of impressions, comments, likes, dislikes, everything. Everything really shot up this year. I was looking at the analytics yesterday and I was really shocked as to how much the channel has really grown. I realize in the grand scheme of things that, I'm a pimple on the butt of other YouTube channels, but for me personally, given that I do this as a hobby, when I'm bored, I come up with a video. I was pretty happy with it. So thank you very much to all of you whom have subscribed or watched the channels, left comments, feedback, whatever it may be. Super, super appreciated. Thank you very much. Now, on to the fun stuff. Fishing. Wow, this was a mixed bag this year for me personally in fishing. It was easily one of the weirder years I've ever had as an angler. The year started off really well for me. I caught an excellent smallmouth bass. There's a picture on the screen right now. And I was very happy with it. Unfortunately, it was pretty much the only decent fish that I really did end up catching this entire year. I had a year of what I like to call photocopy fish. Every fish basically looked like the last fish that I caught, basically about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds. Which is weird because usually, like most people, I catch a variety of fish, some big, some small, most in the middle, bell curve, all that sort of thing. But this year, past that one big fish I caught right at the beginning, everything was about basically 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds. Why? I have no idea. We had a lot of snow in May, which is, and I realize I live in northern Canada, so people are going to say, well, doesn't it snow 11 times or 11 months out of the year? Well, no. Well, 7 months, I think, is enough. But May, you don't usually see snow. And this is like the second time in the last probably 30 or 40 years that I remember seeing a significant amount of snow in May. And I have a feeling, although, I'm not an expert, that snow kind of screwed up the water. Maybe it cooled it off and it never really recovered because it wasn't the warmest summer that we've had either. But it did really, I think, affect the water significantly and for quite a while. And that made fish, for me personally, harder to catch. There were times that I went out and I didn't catch anything on very productive lakes. So, what caused this year, I don't know, but it was not a great year of fishing. Now I realize it's kind of like, a first world problem to complain about catching a lot of eater fish rather than, what I call tournament fish. Okay, I'll accept that. I shouldn't really complain because I still did catch fish. Just wasn't as good as it was in previous years. So that kind of sucked. Fly fishing. You might not know this because I've never actually done a video on it, but I actually do fly fish. Well, in theory. About 6 feet over to the side of me, I got quite a bit of fly fishing gear, a couple of rods of different weights, all my gear and all that stuff. And I didn't go fly fishing once this year. Part of that also had to do with the fact that fish seem to be further off of the shore, and I am primarily a shore angler when I'm not fishing with my brother-in-law in his boat. So I don't cast particularly well as a fly fisher. I'll be perfectly upfront about that. So frankly, the fish were just too far away for me to catch with fly fishing. I even knew that, which is why I didn't even bother bringing my gear out for the most part. So hopefully that changes, because I have a fly tying bench just over there. And last winter I tied a pile of flies so that I could go fly fishing quite a bit. And about all I can see now is a layer of dust on that fly bench and the flies that I've tied. So hopefully that changes. So fishing, hunting. I had big goals for this year with hunting. Like literally January the 2nd, 2020, I got my fishing license for the year and my hunting license, because I anticipated doing a lot of both. The fishing thing happened, the hunting not so much. I only went out one time, September the 15th, which was opening day for partridge or grouse, however you prefer to call it. And I didn't get anything. I went out that day, and of course the one day that I take vacation in order to go hunting, it rained, and it didn't stop raining all day. I drove 45 minutes to my spot, parked my Jeep, got out my gear, and it immediately started raining and did not stop. I walked the trails for about 15 minutes, half an hour, give or take, got soaked, walked back to my Jeep, finished my coffee, sat there for an hour hoping that the rain would stop at least. No go, and I ended up driving back very disappointed, not to mention very wet. So hunting was kind of a wash, literally and figuratively, this year. Wheeling, off-roading, jeeping, however you want to prefer it. Again, kind of a mixed bag this year. I set out to do more difficult trails this year, and unfortunately for various reasons it didn't happen. Sometimes I wasn't available when my local club was doing the more difficult trails. Sometimes when they did the more difficult trails, I was getting the Jeep fixed or upgraded, so couldn't obviously go out. So I ended up doing basically the same trail like 4 or 5 times this year, what we call Cape Rail Skidder Trail up here. It's a fine trail, but after you've done it half a dozen, 10 times, however many times I've done it now over the past 2 years, it gets old. You know what you're getting. And because I didn't have an upgraded Jeep at the time, there were parts of the trail that I actually couldn't do. However, now that I have a rear locker installed on my Jeep, hopefully I'll be able to do the more difficult trails this coming year that I had hoped to do this year. And there's a couple. You'll see the videos for those trails once I actually do them. That's it. So jeeping, I went out a lot. I just didn't do the trails that I wanted to. That said, right now, as of this moment, there's nothing wrong with my Jeep. Everything works outside of the leaky roof. Everything works. So I'm all primed and ready to go for the jeeping / wheeling / off-roading season this coming year. Just nothing break between now and May. Please, I'm begging you. Okay, next up, shooting. This actually went well for me for the most part. In the past, I'm not a horrible shot, but I've often been inconsistent from trip to trip. With limited exceptions, like with my AR-15 before the government banned it in May of this year. Thank you, Justin Trudeau. I always did well with that rifle. That thing and me were like mated, and I loved it. Other rifles, though, I was hit or miss oftentimes in prior years. This year, I don't know what happened, but I took one of those step forwards that, that are sometimes unexplained and you don't know why. But I really became a lot more consistent with my accuracy, where I think that it was actually a substantial step forward in terms of the quality of my shooting. And that didn't matter whether it was a scoped rifle, an unscoped rifle, some old military beater, something relatively new. I did well with all of them this year, and it was awesome. The one thing that sucked was that the range was closed from March until June, thanks to COVID-19. And as I film this, it looks like it's going to be closed down again for the next 2 weeks. Thank you to our provincial government, who are instituting a lockdown in the province of Ontario. Awesome. So I won't be able to get out to the range again this year, probably. So that kind of sucks. The only kind of thing that didn't work out so well for me this year was pistol shooting. And I've been very upfront and honest that I'm not much of a pistol shooter. I'm not great at it. I'm not horrible, but I'm not great at it either. I started to remedy that near the end of the year by taking my pistols out more often and shooting them. And I noticed an improvement. Hopefully that carries forward into the new year. Part of this winter's activities for me are going to be reloading 45 ACP until I have a metric ton of it, because I want to practice as much as humanly possible. And anyone who knows who shoots 45 ACP, it's more expensive to shoot cumulatively than 9mm. So hopefully I'll save myself some money while I'm reloading too, because it's a pricey round to shoot. In terms of collecting, I didn't really add too much to the collection this year. A couple of pieces that just happened to come along, but nothing that I was really kind of looking for. You know, my holy grail is Type 99 Arisaka, a Japanese battle rifle from World War II. I can get one, but I'm looking for something very specific in a certain condition. I want, you know, as close to stock one as possible, but those cost money, so I've been looking. And finally, yeah, I think that's it. Shooting went well, collecting went well, pistol went well, and I didn't do any pistol competitions or rifle competitions this year. I had hoped to do that starting in June once COVID restrictions were eased up here. Unfortunately, every time I wanted to go out, it was like stupidly hot, even late into the evening. And frankly, I just didn't want to stand around sweating all night shooting, you know, steel targets and IPSC targets and all that stuff. So kind of didn't do it. I kind of regret that now, because, you know, who knows what will happen this coming year. One, with the firearms laws in this country, which there's already signs that they're going to tighten the noose even further on us gun owners up here. You know, just because maybe COVID doesn't get resolved anytime soon, and could be possible there are no pistol competitions or rifle competitions this year. So we'll see. Hopefully I get that done. And that's basically it for the update. Fishing, it was okay. Hunting sucked. Jeeping, that was good. The sport shooting side of it, you know, really good. I really enjoyed myself. Reloading, I guess I could touch upon that. I didn't really add too many calibers this year, other than 45 ACP to my routine. I found I also took a tangible step forward in the quality of my ammunition. Not sure why, again, because, you know, the quality of the ammunition I manufactured was always good before. Just seemed to be a whole lot better this year. I think part of it has to do with upgrading of my equipment, so that, you know, I got more consistent results when I made things at certain calibers. So maybe that helped too. I don't know. Either way, I can't complain about the reloading part either. The only thing I am complaining about right now is the scarcity of certain components. You know, my American friends know, who reload and who buy ammunition too, that stuff is becoming scarce and expensive. For a long time that didn't touch Canada, but now that we've run through our supplies and are needing to get more supplies from the United States and other places around the world, it's getting more difficult. There are certain powders that I can't find anymore, like Varget. You know, it's unobtainium at the moment. And there were certain bullets that I just simply couldn't find because I needed those as well. So it is what it is. Make do with what you got. You know, could be worse. Stock up when it's cheap and available. That's my hint to you. At any rate, that's it. That was my 2020. It was a mixture of both good and bad. Could have been better. Could have been a hell of a lot worse. I hope your 2020 went well, and like I said, feel free to leave a comment below telling me how your year went. Hopefully it went better than mine. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. It's all good. I got big shoulders, yo. And subscribe to the channel if you like the content that I produced. I got like 160 videos. I'm sure you'll find something that you like. At any rate, thank you very much. I hope you had a great 2020. I hope your 2021 is healthy and safe, and you get out there and you do everything that you enjoy doing. Take care. Bye-bye.